Hi guys, it's Pavi with another video. Just wanted to jump on here quickly tonight and just go through my thoughts of Novak Djokovic starting his US Open campaign yesterday. He records an impressive victory against the talented learner Tien, 6-1, 7-6, 6-2 in 2 hours and 25 minutes in the night session, the first match of the night session of the US Open in 2025. And yeah, I was very pleased with that performance. When the draw first came out, you couldn't really have asked for a much more difficult first round draw, really. Obviously, Djokovic being seeded, he wouldn't be able to face any players in the top 32, but he drew top 50 learner Tien, 19 years of age, and he's having a fantastic year this year. So, let's talk a little bit about learner Tien. This year, he's already recorded wins, a number of top 10 wins, including against Daniel Medvedev, Andrei Rublev, Alexander Zverev, and also Ben Shelton. So this kid can really play. Djokovic will be really pleased to get through that match unscathed and in straight sets. He started really well, Djokovic. He kind of took the first set very comfortably. I think Leonard Tien, he's probably not used to playing in full of packed houses and a lot of support. So I think he did feel a little bit intimidated with the surroundings. It takes a while for him to get used to. But in the second set, he really kind of showed the world really what he can do. He was getting some great depth on his ground strokes. He was moving Djokovic around. There was no break of serve still. It went to a tie break. Djokovic did have to save a set point, but he came through that. But he did look a little bit fatigued in that set. He didn't look as fresh as he did in the first set, and it's understandable. And I'll kind of go on to the reasons why I'm not particularly worried about that in a little while as well. And then the third set, he got broken in the very first game. He had treatment for a blister at the end of the second set. So I think he just lost his focus a little bit. But Djokovic, he broke back straight away. And then he really took control of that third set and he closed it out 6-2. It could have been 6-1. He got broken at 5-1 when he was going for another 6-1, but he managed to close out for a 6-2 win. So Djokovic, I think, is going to be really pleased with that. He has spent the last few weeks working really hard. So a lot of people are saying, well, I've not seen much about Djokovic practicing or playing or training, and I think that's a very intentional plan. I think Djokovic has really gone low key this US Open. That doesn't mean he's not putting the work in. He's just really similar to kind of what a boxer does. A boxer before a fight, they'll go away to a camp, they'll keep themselves away from social media, just lock themselves in and get themselves in really good shape for the fight ahead. And I believe Djokovic has done that. He's in phenomenal shape. A lot of you will see that he's bulked up. So I think he knows that he needs to bring more power to this Grand Slam. So he's been working hard on his building up, but also on his cardio and his fitness. So he's in super fit shape, but obviously he's not played those matches. He's not had a competitive match for 6 weeks. So you simply can't go into a match and play a top 50 player who's playing week in, week out and not have not feel great. The first match, it is a different type of exercise when you play in front of a full house, and no one can really train that. So, Djokovic saying he felt a little bit fatigued in the second set, and it's just really his body getting used to playing the rigors of the tour again. It's a different type of exercise, and you can't really practice that. But Djokovic, we know, in the last few years, he's been using the early rounds to really kind of get his practice in for the later rounds, and he wouldn't really want to be playing at his best in his first round match. He'll want to kind of build that up and try and hit the peak in the second week, in the business end, quarters, semis, finals, and that's when he will really want to try and get to his best. But I think Djokovic having Leonard Tien couldn't have worked out much better. He's a really good player, top 50. Djokovic came through. He hasn't expended so much energy, but he's kind of now in that zone now. And he's really started the US Open. He's got a couple of hours under his belt. And his next up is a qualifier. So Zachary Svajda, I think Zvajda is how you pronounce that name. I'm not going to lie, I don't know a huge amount about him. I know he's ranked 143 in the world. I know he's mainly plays on the Challenger Tour, but he's been doing really, really well on the Challenger Tour. He's obviously already won 4 matches at the US Open. He bruised through his qualifying rounds, and then he won his first round match 3-0. He's got wins this year against Marin Cilic and also Adrian Manarino. So he can play. He can definitely play, but, you know, this is going to be a big step up for him playing against Novak Djokovic. He is American. He's from Czech heritage, but he's born and bred in California. And, you know, he's going to have some home support, I would imagine, that will be cheering him on. He's got absolutely nothing to lose. Djokovic has never played him before, and we all know that Djokovic takes a while to just kind of get used to a new player that he's not played before, just to kind of get used to their style of play. But yeah, looking forward to that. I think, you know, Djokovic, you know, I don't think, you know, we can't, I don't expect him to have any huge issues against him, to be honest with you. I think Djokovic at this stage, you know, he's not at his best, but I'm not worried about that. It's a different type of fitness. I believe he has put the work in off court this new year, this US Open. I think he's done a lot more work this year than he did last year at the US Open. Obviously, last year was slightly different. He'd won the Olympics, so expended a lot of energy there, and you know, he spent the next few weeks partying a lot, so and understandably so. But this time he's kept it low profile. Yeah, he's had a few beach days with his family, which is brilliant, a bit of downtime. But away from that, he's been working really, really hard. A Rocky style camp. And, you know, I talked about boxing, but, you know, some people were a little bit concerned that he wasn't looking really, really good, and he was, you know, puffing a little bit in the second set. And, you know, if we stick to boxing, you look at the undisputed world champion of the world, and you look at Usyk, and he's similar to Djokovic in terms of his age, but also his fitness, and he'll go away in his fitness camp, he'll put the work in. When you watch Usyk fight in the first few rounds, he doesn't look particularly good. His footwork doesn't look very, very good, and you know, he gets caught quite a few times. It's only really in the business ends of the boxing, you know, the fight, the round 6, 7, 8, where he really then goes up a level, and all of his hard work in the gym really shows. And that's what I think Djokovic is going to be doing this US Open. I think you're going to see him get better and better with each round. And I think if he can get lucky, obviously he's had a lot of bad luck in the slams in the last, you know, 5 or 6 slams with injuries and illnesses that he's picked up at the worst possible times. If he can get a little bit of luck with his injuries and illness, I think he's got a fantastic chance to go all the way and win his 25th Grand Slam here at the US Open. But still a long way to go. But so far, so good. Novak Djokovic into the second round of the US Open. You know, he's going to be very, very pleased with that. I would probably score him an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a fantastic first set, fantastic third set. The second set was a little bit of a struggle, but as I said, it's a different type of fitness when you're playing Grand Slam tennis, and that was to be expected. And you know, I hope Djokovic can keep going. I think he looks in really, really good shape. I know he is super pumped and super motivated. So wishing him all the best. The journey is away. My body clock is already cooked. So the Djokovic match finished, I think, at about 3 a.m. UK time, something like that. And then obviously I got absorbed with what was happening with the Medvedev Bonzi match, which was just bonkers, and that didn't finish till about 5 o'clock. So my body clock is already cooked, and we're only in round 1. But that is the beauty of Grand Slam tennis, and I'm sure all tennis fans can relate as well, especially from the UK, where the night sessions in particular in New York means a lot of early hours for us. So wishing you all well. I hope you're enjoying the tennis. Djokovic will now play his next match. I believe he will play on Wednesday. We're waiting scheduling for that, and wishing him all the best for that. Idemo!